Let's get into chapter 6 of The Coldest Winter Ever. If you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified the next time I upload. And also check out the wonderful books that's in my links below. Check them out and tell me what you think. And if you think I should do an audio version of those books I have listed. They're great. It's a great read. But you don't have to take my word for it. Let's get into it. Monday morning, we all was up early and dressed. There was no doubt that we would support Santiago at his arraignment. We would show those in mess that family sticks together. My mother put the girls in the back of the car and took the passenger seat. As I started to back the Benz up, I saw flashing lights moving up our driveway. A cop on the loudspeaker said, "Turn off the ignition." I weighed my options. I wanted to floor the gas pedal, ram the police, and then pull out to go handle my business. But my little sisters were in the car, so I turned the ignition off. "Get out of the car. Everyone step out of the car. Move away from the car." But the police signaled the vehicle behind him. It was a police department tow truck. The officer walked up to my mother and handed her a piece of paper. "We are authorized to remove this vehicle, which is now government property." MFs. This is my car. How the hell you gonna come and take my car?" Angry tears shot out of my eyes. "You don't have the right to take people's stuff." I went buck wild, cursing them out. I pushed the car door open, jumped out, and started swinging my fist in the air. Ma'am, calm down, ma'am. Now listen, here's how it works. We're going to take this car right now, right here, today, this minute. We're authorized to do so. You go downtown. If you can verify the source of your income and prove that you personally purchased this vehicle, then you can get it back. We hold it for 60 days. If you can't prove it, then we sell it at the auction. All merchandise purchased with illegal monies by criminal activity are subject to seizure. Mama thumbed hysterically through the yellow pages trying to locate a cab that would come around our way. It took an hour to strike a deal with somewhat local cabbies to drive us into the city. I paid $100 to get into the city. Money was going fast. By the time we got to the court, we had missed Santiago. I called the lawyer's office. His secretary said the lawyer must be on his way back to his office because he was there at the court to represent Santiago earlier today. I hung up the phone without verbally acknowledging her words. It took damn near all day just to get back to our house on public transportation. Then we had to walk 3 miles to get from the train station to our safety house. Tears didn't have no place in this situation. What would Santiago do? I asked myself. He would think, plan, and not panic. All right. It seemed to me that we needed to have one big sale to get rid of all this stuff in this house and get some money. I never liked to hear anyway. We could move back into the city, get an apartment or something. I started pacing around the house, randomly pricing things in my head. Who would we sell this stuff to? We didn't know nobody around here. We would straight up have to put an ad in the papers, hang up garage sale signs and directions to our house. Let these folks come and pick over our stuff and pay way less than they would normally pay in the store. I found Mama in her room. She had busted open a new pack of cigarettes and was going at it. "What do you think about a sale?" I asked her. "We sell all this stuff in the house to generate some cash flow." "I want to talk to your father," she said. "Seriously, Mama, what do you say?" "I want to see what your father says. Whatever he wants to do, that's what I do." "But, Mommy, we got to make plans like Santiago ain't here because he's not." "You trying to say he ain't coming back?" she asked like a crazy woman. "No, I'm trying to say maybe if we put our heads together, we can have some ideas ready for Santiago. We can go see him tomorrow. I know by the morning time exactly where he is." The idea of seeing Santiago delighted Mommy, who was staring and she was starting to seem like an imposter to me. What we gonna do with the kids? They too much trouble to be trying to walk and travel back and forth with, she asked, worried about everything. Magdalena will watch them, I told her. Oh, you think so? Lately, she been acting kind of funny, Mommy said. At 9 o'clock the next morning, I was on the phone line trying to locate Santiago. I slid Magdalena an extra $20 and told her to babysit while me and Mommy took care of some business. She looked like she thought about rolling her eyes at me. She put the extra money in her pocket. We found out which jail Santiago was being held at. Then we went to find out the cost of bail so we could pull the money together somehow. The court clerk smirked when he punched in the case numbers for Santiago on his computer. With some strange look of pleasure, he pronounced, "The judge has denied bail because of the extremity of the charges. He'll be sent out to Rikers Thursday. You can visit him there." My mother's face saddened with disappointment. As we turned to walk away, her tears started flowing. When we got home, Magdalena complained about the phone ringing. We thanked her for her patience and sent her home for the evening. The good thing was that in 2 days, we would be able to talk to Santiago. He would help us decide how to move. My mind was still trying to put things together. I asked my mother whose name the house was in and if it was a monthly cost or was it paid for in full. She told me it was paid for because that's how Santiago does things, but she never saw the paperwork because it wasn't her concern. This time when I picked up the telephone, it was Natalie. "Girl, what's going on? It's like a ghost town over here in BK." Everybody's getting locked up, I thought to myself. Who ever heard of a person who just starts talking before she even said hello, before she's even sure she's talking to the right person? "Who got knocked?" I asked. Playing it off, she rattled off a list of familiar names. Daddy's workers, bodyguards, and all of my uncles. Then she said, "I heard Midnight got picked up earlier tonight." Yep, Asia saw the cops cuffing him over in front of Mo's bar. I wondered if Natalie had heard about Santiago, and was she just waiting for me to say something? "Yeah, Bullet told me about Midnight too," Natalie said. "How's Bullet doing?" I asked. "He's all right. His girl just had a baby. It's a boy. 8 pounds, 6 ounces. Big, huh?" "His girl? Natalie, you ain't tell me he had a girl?" "Like you would have cared. Don't try to get new on me, Winter." "That's not the point. I'm just saying you're supposed to have my back. You're supposed to let me know what's going on." "Yeah, I'm supposed to fill you in like you be filling me in, right?" Natalie said, getting loud with me. I really don't have time for Natalie's attention game, so I told her I had to go. "The policia," Magdalena said, peeking her head into my room without knocking on my bedroom door. "Your mother is in the shower." I jumped up, threw on some pants and a shirt, and headed downstairs. "Good morning, ma'am. We'd like to speak to Mrs. Santiago, please. We want to ask her some questions." I put my hands on my hips and asked if they had a warrant. As soon as they said no, I got ready to say, "Mama's not home." Then Mama came out of nowhere, wrapped in a towel. Her hair was wet, her eyes wide, and her mouth twisted. "What is it now?" she said. "We want to ask you some questions." "Do you have a warrant?" "No, ma'am." "Then get the F out of my house. I've had enough of you all for 1 week." "Ma'am, we just wanted to ask you some questions about your husband. Under the RICO laws, you could also be charged if you were aware of any way connected to the distribution of narcotics. We would like for you to cooperate with us. It would be better for you." "Get the F out," she yelled. "Do you see a lawyer in here? How you gonna ask me some questions without a lawyer present? Do I look like a fool to you?" "You're right. You're entitled to have a lawyer present," his partner chimed in. "But you know, we could easily get a warrant under these circumstances, ma'am. Or you can cooperate." "Winter," Mama commanded, "close the dang on door." Mama was renewed on Thursday morning. She picked out her best outfit and was gonna take Santiago by storm at Rikers Island. She asked me to help her with her makeup. I tried to make the best of the situation and put it on as nicely as I could. I brushed her hair back and used the same wig that worked for her the day we went shopping. Mama pulled out her perfume, the expensive stuff that was thick like syrup. She dabbed it in on small amounts. When you have the good stuff, she once told me, you don't have to pile it on. She looked fine, at least compared to the last few days when she let herself go in ways I had never seen before. She handed me the Visine. I dropped 2 drops in each of her eyes. I reminded her to take off her heels, put them in her pocketbook, and wear flat shoes since we had to walk to the bus stop. She protested. We should take a cab to Rikers Island. She said, we should really save our money because we're running low, I warned. We'll save it some other day. Today we're going to see Santiago. Yes, we have a warrant and we're going to run you down for questioning, announced the same cops from yesterday. They arrived when me and Mama were leaving. As we opened the door to go see Daddy, we were confronted by the 2 cops. Am I under arrest? My mother asked sarcastically. If that's what we need to do to have a civil conversation with you. Mama handed me her pocketbook. Unwilling to cooperate with the police, she stuck out her wrist as if to say, take me. The police read Mama her rights, cuffed her, and put her in the car. Magdalena and the girls watched in horror from the kitchen. I stood there shocked and watched them take my mother away. On the way out, the smart aide cop's partner paused, turned around, and hollered to me standing in the doorway. By the way, how old are you? 17. My sister Portia blurted out. And where are you taking my mother? How about you, little girl? How old are you? 8, she said, snotty and proud. Their lights flashed as they sped away. I took out a 20, handed it to Magdalena, collected my things, and made fast tracks in my Nikes, headed to the bus stop. Santiago walked into the room accompanied by a corrections officer. His body was tight and his face serious. He still maintained his powerful presence. He had a way of looking good, even in those gel greens that hung on him like a leisure suit. I smiled when I saw him. He smiled back. Where's your mother? Downstairs? He asked. No, she wasn't feeling good. She had to take 2 of those pills and they knocked her out cold. You know, only something that dramatic could keep her away. I had practiced this answer the whole trip to Rikers. No sense in adding to Santiago's problems. And my girls? They're fine. You know, they miss you and all, but they're tough. They'll do all right. Maybe, he smiled. Portia has 7 years in the projects under her belt. She's tough. Mercedes and Lexi? Now, they've been sheltered. They're straight up suburban kids. I laughed but wanted to hurry on to business. Daddy, tomorrow I'm going to see your lawyer. I'm going to find out everything. What do you need me to tell him? I've been talking to him on the phone every chance I get, he said. He'll want to talk money. You don't have to worry about that, though. I got money. Daddy, they raided the safe house. They raided the safe at the house. They took $150,000. He held his hand up to stop me from talking. Just get a hold of Midnight. He got $50 of mine. I was sure that this was code for $50,000. He'll take care of everything. Just let him know I said it's that time. Daddy, someone said Midnight got picked up too. I don't know if it's true, but it's what I heard. Daddy's eyebrows knitted together, as if Midnight's arrest was somehow not what he had planned for. After a short pause, he said, he'll be out soon. They got nothing on him. He's clean. I kept him that way. Just chill and wait for him. He'll come through. He always does. Meanwhile, tell Goldstein, I said, use the key. That'll be a deposit on his fee. Daddy, Uncle Steve got picked up, and Harry, Van, and Ron. I know. I seen all them. Driguez, Pizzazz, they're all in here. It's like being at home, he smiled. I'm sure more for my benefit than anything. They're just trying to shake my niggas up, scare somebody until they sing. You know what I mean. I'm all right, Winter. Don't worry about me. It's Mama you gotta look after. After that bullet, she's delicate. She don't know it, but she is. About the house, Santiago. I think we should sell it. So we'll have some money flow. I like your mind, he said. Tell Goldstein. Tell him I said sell it. Winter, you gotta be tough. It's time. Remember everything I taught you. Keep your ears open. Follow the directions I gave you to the letter. And just play your hand close to your chest. We said that last line together. I heard it so many times. I had never really thought about how important it was, but it was sinking in now. Tell your mother I want to see her 1 week from today, on Thursday. Tell her I said pull herself together and get down here on Thursday in her best stuff so I can show her off. Magdalena had her stuff packed at the door when I reached home. Her face was serious and fed up. What's up? That's it. She rubbed her hands together. Finished. What is it? You want some more money? I asked her. I'll give you more money. I was going to pay you on Friday. That's tomorrow. Payday. Hell, I tipped you every day this week. It's not the money, Mrs. Winter, but I do need my pay for up until today. Magdalena, I pleaded. Come on, girl. You know I need you. My father's gone. My mother's gone. It's just me and the kids. If you leave, I won't have anybody to help me with the kids. Magdalena busted out crying. There is no kids. Her words hit me one by one, each word in slow motion. No kids. I lost my composure. The tears burst out. No kids? What do you mean, Magdalena? I grabbed her, shaking her shoulders uncontrollably. Where are my sisters? What do you mean there's no kids? Huh? The BCW people came and they said they were here and sent by the police. They said they had to take the kids because there was no adult in the house. What are you talking about, Magdalena? You're an adult. But Miss Winter, I had to tell them I had no responsible. I have to leave at 7 p.m. this evening. They had the papers from the government. They took them. I'm sorry, she cried. Then the horn honked, the signal from her son who picked her up every night in that raggedy 1970-something car. As she held her hand out to be paid, I yelled, You couldn't cover for me? You couldn't just cover for me? My voice echoed in the middle of this huge empty house. I ain't giving you nothing, I screamed, throwing a vase at her as she rushed out the door. Every step I took around the house sounded like it was magnified by a microphone. I could hear my own heart beating in my chest and in my ears. I started hearing stuff I never heard before. Noises and heating systems and water dripping. I was stranded without a ride, without a family member. I was in the effing woods. Just then, Sterling, my old sugar daddy, became the most important person in the world. I ran upstairs, pulled my jury box out, looked for his number, and called him. I had to calm down first. The worst thing I could do was make Sterling think I needed him. Then he would try to turn the tables. Sterling, this is me, Winter. It's funny how you just came to mind. I was sitting here by the fire with my panties on, and I thought, damn, I miss Sterling. Do you think you want to see me? Because I definitely want to see you. Winter, he said apologetically. I have company right now. A tear dropped from my eyes. I cleared my throat to bring the strength back into my voice. Who's there with you? He answered with silence. Is she better than me, Sterling? You know how good I can make you feel, and I'm really needing you tonight, right now. Okay, he said. Give me a couple of hours. I'll pick you up at 11. I packed my overnight bag. My money was running low, so I dropped my diamond bracelet, earrings, and necklace in my bag, too. If needed, that was as good as money to me. I ran around the house, turning on all the lights, TVs, and radios to convince myself I wasn't alone until my ride came. If I F Sterling that night, I didn't know it. It didn't matter. My mind was on vacation. Apparently, Sterling was so stupid that just my sweet face was enough to make him do whatever I wanted. The next day, I convinced him to let me drop him at work and use his car. I promised to pick him up later that night. The idea of seeing me 2 nights in a row was enough bait for him. I put-putted in the lay car back to the house in Long Island, hoping my mother would be released and I could meet up with her. At some point, she figured out she had to cooperate, even if all she said was, I don't know. Then she would release her. They would release her. Hell, she was completely innocent. I hated to think of her in jail, especially with her being so fragile. Since when does spending your husband's money become a crime? If it were, more than half of all women in the whole country would be locked down. If she wasn't at the house by the time I got there, I swing by the precinct. The way I figured, they just try to shake her up, try to get her to give evidence against Santiago, which she would never do. I'd pick up my mom's, then we would track down the girls. The driveway to my house was blocked off. It wasn't a regular police car, the kind with the siren. It was one of those cars like the DT drives, undercover. I pulled to the side of the road. I climbed the winding driveway leading up to our home. Excuse me, officer, this is my house, and this house and all the belongings inside are now the property of the federal government. No one is allowed on the property unless he is an agent of the federal government. Who are you? The FBI, he said with authority and puffed out his chest. Explain this to me. I said carefully, how is it that you people can take people's property, steal their house, and not even allow a woman to get her clothes out of her baby sister's room or her baby sister's bottles? I was going for sympathy. I had no wins running up against the clock. In America, miss, all material items purchased with illegal money made from illegal actions and transactions are subject to seizure. Now, if you want something in there, all you got to do is bring some pay stubs from your job and prove you have a legitimate occupation. If those items inside the house are within the boundary of your earnings, and you can prove it to a judge, you can have them back. You can pick up the necessary paperwork from the precinct or have your lawyer call us up and we'll send it to him. I wanted to spit in his face, but for now it wouldn't be smart. The only thing to do now was to go straight to Santiago's lawyer. Otherwise, all these cocksuckers would give me this official talk and send me away empty-handed. I would get the lawyer involved on my mother's behalf as well. As the late car maxed out at 60 miles per hour, my mind calculated the value of everything in my bedroom. Jewelry, clothes, shoes, electronics, TV, etc. Hats off to the MF and police, I thought to myself. They had the best hustle in town. They were the real criminals. Goldstein's office was plush. The chairs were buttery leather, the walls walnut, the windows looked out onto the outlines of the city. I wasn't surprised. It was my father's style to be affiliated with the big timers. I sat down in a big chair. It was reserved for clients and positioned directly in front of the attorney's chair. I kept thinking that this chair was the hot seat. It got you all impressed. Then, just as you started to feel all comfortable, the lawyer would demand a minimum of 10 grand just to peek at your case. So are you Santiago's daughter? Beautiful, beautiful. He smiled like a gentleman. Where's your mother? I thought I told you to bring your mother. She's locked up. His left eyebrow raised up. He reached his desk and grabbed one of those legal pads and listened to my whole story. He didn't interrupt me once. Only the lines on his forehead answered. Every now and then he'll scribble on the pad. Well, now you've got about 5 different matters here. Your father's, that's 1. Your mother's, that's 2. Your sister's, that's 3. You want me to look into the matter of your house, that's 4. The cars, that's 5. It's going to take a lot of manpower to get this job done. I could feel him set me up for the kill. Fatten me up like a pig before the slaughter. He just wanted the bacon. Right, Santiago says use the key. He repeated my message from Santiago to himself. He muttered something like, power of attorney. He found the paper he was looking for in the file. He smiled and told me he'd get to work on all these matters. He would use the key and let me know what else he needed. He asked for my phone number and address. Haven't you been listening? I have no address. I'll be drifting. I'll call you. By the way, he said as I was stepping out of the door, how old are you? 17. Why? Because my best bet is that the Bureau of Child Welfare will be looking to pick you up as well. I can take care of myself. Yes, but according to the law, the state is your temporary guardian. Until you turn 18 years old, you're a minor. Not to worry, he said, smiling again. We'll just need to get a hold of your mother to get around this mess. My office will be the meeting point. When I get your mother, I'll bring her here. At least you can check in periodically with one of my secretaries, and they will be able to tell you where to meet her. Ooh, that's it. Ooh, chapter 6 is juicy, child. Oh, Lord, okay. So they're going to have to get the mom out of jail. That was good. Interested to see what's happening with chapter 7. I think I'm going to have to upload that tomorrow because this is getting pretty interesting. All right. Tell me what you think. And remember to check out those books in my description. Click on the link. Tell me what you think about those. Don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. I'm all about personal research, honey. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe. Click that notification bell so you'll be ready the next time I upload chapter 7. Today I read chapter 6. Be blessed, honey. I'll be back with you real soon because this is getting real juicy, okay?